Welcome you all to part 3 of the chapter Atoms. Rutherford could not explain the stability of the atom, so Bohr made little bit changes in that. So what are the changes made by Bohr? That will be the session of the day. That is Bohr's model of hydrogen atom. This model has 3 postulates. Let us check it out one by one. In the first postulate, it says that the electrons in an atom revolve around the nucleus in a definite orbit, which has a fixed radius and fixed energy without the emission of radiant energy. Means electrons are revolving in a definite orbit. Orbits are fixed around the nucleus. They are at a particular distance from the nucleus. For example, if I take this is the first orbit, which is at a distance 0.53 angstrom from the nucleus. Second orbit is at a distance 2.12 angstrom from the nucleus. Means orbits are fixed around the nucleus and they are also having fixed energy. The first orbit has the energy minus 13.6 electron volt. Minus because electron is bound to the nucleus. And the second orbit has the energy minus 3.4 electron volt. Means orbits are fixed around the nucleus. And whenever the electron is rotating in a particular orbit, it will not emit any kind of radiation. So, similar to the ladder, which has a fixed steps. We can climb on the ladder by keeping our legs on the particular steps. We cannot keep in between these two steps and climb. It is similar way that electron rotate only in a particular orbit. And when it rotates in a particular orbit, it will not emit any kind of radiation. That was about the first postulate. Second postulate states that in which orbit electron can rotate. According to this postulate, it depends upon angular momentum. If angular momentum of the electron is h divided by 2 pi, it rotates in the first orbit. If its angular momentum is 2h divided by 2 pi, it rotates in the second orbit. Right. So according to the second postulate, the electron revolves around the nucleus only in those orbits in which angular momentum is integral multiple of h divided by 2 pi, where h is Planck's constant. Angular momentum, calculate L is equal to nh divided by 2 pi. L is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. If it is second orbit, then the value of N is 2. Right. In the similar manner, we can calculate angular momentum of the electron and in which orbit it rotates. So this was about the second postulate. In the third postulate, it explains when will the electron emit energy. If it is rotating in a particular orbit, it will not emit any kind of energy. But when it changes the orbit, it emits energy. When an electron jumps from higher energy orbit, let me take E2, to lower energy orbit E1, it emits electromagnetic radiation in the form of photons. A photon emitted whose energy is equal to energy difference between the orbits. For example, if I take the electron jumps from second orbit to the first orbit. Second orbit has the energy E2, first orbit has the energy E1. The energy which is emitted is in the form of photon. The energy of photon is h nu, and that is equal to E2 minus E1. So for example, if I take second orbit to first orbit, we can calculate what is the energy of the photon emitted. Second orbit, the energy is minus 3.4 electron volt. First orbit, energy is minus 13.6 electron volt. If you take the difference of that, you will be getting the 10.2 electron volt. Means the photon which is emitted has the energy which is equal to 10.2 electron volt. So these are the postulates of Bohr's model. Now let us derive the expression for radius as well as energy of the nth orbit of hydrogen atom. Now let us derive the expression for radius of nth orbit of hydrogen atom. According to Rutherford, electron revolve around the nucleus in the similar manner as planets revolve around the sun. So if electron is revolving around the nucleus, there should be a centripetal force, and that centripetal force is provided by electrostatic force of attraction between nucleus and electron. So this is positively charged, electron is negatively charged, and there will be a force of attraction. So that electrostatic force of attraction provides the necessary centripetal force which is required. And this is the principle of this derivation here. Okay, let me start with the derivation. Consider an electron whose mass is m and the charge is e, which is revolving around the nucleus. We know the charge of the nucleus is plus Ze. Since we are taking it for hydrogen atom, let me substitute value of Z is equal to 1. So we will be getting with E, right? So this electron is revolving around this nucleus, and let R be the radius of nth orbit and V be the velocity of electron with which it is rotating here. Now let me take the main concept, that is the centripetal force is provided by electrostatic force of attraction. So let me take centripetal force is equal to electrostatic force. The formula for centripetal force is mv square u by r. electrostatic force is given by Coulomb's law, that is 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught product of the charges. The charge of electron is E, nucleus is also E. Let me take E into E divided by distance square. The distance is R, let me take it as R square. So we will be getting with m v square R, that is equal to E into E, E square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. So let me take it as equation number 1. As we have taken R square, this side 1 R will get cancelled, 1 R will be remaining. Now let me use the Bohr's postulate. According to the Bohr's postulate, angular momentum of the electron must be equal to integral multiple of h divided by 2 pi. So what is the formula for angular momentum? That is mvr, that is equal to nh divided by 2 pi. Right? If we compare that equation with this, here we have the term v square. Right? So we are finding the expression for radius. So let me square that so that term will get cancelled here. So squaring. So what we will be getting here? M square, V square, R square is equal to N square, H square divided by 4 pi square. Right? Let me take that equation number 2 and let me divide that so that some terms will get cancelled here. Right? So when we divide equation 2 by equation 1, so we will be getting it like this: M square, V square, R square divided by this term, that is M V square R, that is equal to N square, H square divided by 4 pi square. Right? If you take this side, right, if you divide it, it will be a reciprocal of this term, that is 4 pi epsilon naught divided by E square. Right? Here M square, M, 1 M will get cancelled, the remaining will be M here. V square will get cancelled, R square R, so 1 R will get cancelled, we will be getting with R now here. Okay, that side you will be getting with N square, H square, 4 will get cancelled, 1 pi will get cancelled. What is remaining here? Epsilon naught divided by, here pi is remaining, pi into what we say here? E square. We require the formula for R, so let me take M that side. So we will be getting with R is equal to epsilon naught N square H square divided by pi me square, and this is the expression for radius of nth orbit of hydrogen atom. Right? So let me write this expression in the simple form here. Okay. Now let me simplify the expression for radius of nth orbit of hydrogen atom. We got with R is equal to epsilon naught N square H square divided by pi me square. Here many terms are constant. So by substituting the values of epsilon naught H, pi, M and D, we get with the simple form of that equation, that is R is equal to 0.53 N square Armstrong, and it is for hydrogen atom. So this is the general expression to find radius of nth orbit. We have one terminology called Bohr radius. It is represented by R1, let me take. That is the radius of first orbit of hydrogen atom, that is called as Bohr's radius. And radius of first orbit of hydrogen atom is called Bohr radius. And R1, if I substitute N is equal to 1, we will be getting with 0.53 Armstrong. Right? So this is called as Bohr's radius. If I want to calculate what is the radius of the second orbit, we will be using the same formula, substituting N is equal to 2 now here. If I substitute N equal to 2, we will be getting 2 square, and the value will be 2.12 Armstrong. Right? By this, I can conclude that the radius of the orbits of the hydrogen atom is directly proportional to the square of the principal quantum number. So we will be getting R1 is to R2 is to R3 is equal to 1 is to 2 square is to 3 square. That is nothing but 1 is to 4 is to 9. Right? So this was all about radius of nth orbit of a hydrogen atom. Thank you.